So it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you, Susan. One of the things to remember is that for anybody thinking of going solar, whether it's a homeowner or a church or a business, it's the first time that that person or that organization is grappling with how to do this. So it's wonderful that you organize this kind of event to bring together the churches represented here to tackle that together. And there have been a lot of interesting innovations that have made it easier for different kinds of organizations and for people to go solar. One of those is a model called Solarize. I'm leading an effort called Solarize Westchester, and there's another initiative underway called Solarize Hudson Valley. And the idea behind the Solarize model is it's a group purchasing model, essentially, through vetted contractors. And typically it's municipalities that organize the programs or that are partners in the programs. But it can also be employers. It could also be the presbytery, if that was something that was of interest. And essentially, it lowers the cost of a solar installation because there's a partner, a community, or an employer who is helping with the outreach and the marketing. And for that reason, the installer who's selected is able to offer lower prices because their marketing costs fall substantially. So that's an effort that I'm leading in Westchester County. We're working with 6 municipalities now in Westchester. We finished a prior round with 10 municipalities. And it's a way of reducing the costs by about 20%. That's what we're seeing. And very importantly, there's also the vetting of the installer. So the people who move forward know that the installer has their quality track record has been reviewed by New York State. The financials have been reviewed by the organization running the Solarize program. It gives people confidence to move forward. So that's something that you might want to think about, piggybacking on the Solarize Westchester or the Solarize Hudson Valley campaigns that are underway. There's also, through the new community solar program run by NYSERDA, an opportunity to get a small grant of up to $5,000 to run your own Solarize program, if that was something that was of interest to the churches who are represented here, and I can provide information. The grant submission deadline, I think, is November 16th for that. It's also important just to give a little thought as to the best way to structure going solar for a church. Obviously, you're all nonprofits, and the cost of solar has fallen significantly over the last number of years, which is great for everybody. But there also are various incentives that are available, some of which are not available to nonprofits. So NYSERDA provides an incentive, a per watt incentive that everybody benefits from. It reduces the cost of the solar installation right off the bat for anybody who moves forward, whether it's a for-profit or a nonprofit or an individual. But beyond that, there's a federal tax credit of 30% that nonprofits cannot avail themselves of. There's accelerated depreciation, which is really important for businesses that obviously as a church doesn't have value for you. And so one of the things to think about is whether direct purchase without the benefit of the tax credit and the depreciation is the best bet for you, or whether going with a power purchase agreement, which is what Solar City does, or a lease is more advantageous. And in that scenario, it's the other company, it's Solar City, for instance, that owns the panels. And so they take the 30% tax credit, they take the accelerated depreciation on those panels, and you pay them for the energy that the panels produce. But what you pay is less than what it would cost you to buy energy from the utility. So it can be a very interesting way to go for a nonprofit because there's no money out of pocket, and you're saving on energy right from the get-go. There are a host of other ways that you can think about doing it, with congregations becoming investors in the panels, or as you've done it as well, just asking for donations. So there are different ways to tackle it, but it's good to have a sense from the outset as to what some of those choices might be. So I'm happy to answer any questions about that later. Thank you.